Hi, Gemini. As I was getting ready to do your reading, I asked Spirit, okay, where do I start with this reading for Gemini, for the collective? And what I saw was, hello, pretty girl. What I saw was a big old solid bell. I didn't know where it was or what it was exactly until all of a sudden I saw somebody taking the suspended part and clanging really loud, and then I realized I was on the deck of a ship. So what this means as I'm investigating this is that you are on some kind of journey. Hello. You're on some kind of journey, and the card that comes up around that is creativity. So as I'm checking into this, the feeling that I'm getting in conjunction with the cards and the energy that I'm reading is that you don't always give yourself credit for the level of creativity that you have the capacity to express. So, for example, you might be somebody who does lovely paintings when they paint, but you will not call yourself an artist because you don't do 16 paintings a week. You only do maybe, 20 a year that you like, right? It does not mean that you are not an artist. So what I'm getting with this is the reminder that creativity shows up in a lot of different ways. That just because you have a specific ability, whether it's a craft, something you would consider a craft, or whether or not you would consider it a skill, such as being able to do decorating a house, for example, or even something a little bit more structured, and that would be creating a work plan, a study plan. Different gifts and skills that you have that you don't realize are very much a part of your creative expression. Now, what you're being told in this regard is slow down a little bit and take stock. Now, what do they mean when they say take stock? What they're saying is that sometimes you're so busy doing things that you it's literally almost as you glide along the top. If there were 6 layers to this thing that you were doing, you'd be gliding only along the top 2. You wouldn't slow down long enough to really be able to detect the other 4 layers underneath. And what they're saying is slow down long enough so that you can feel what's underneath that, because that's where you're going to start understanding the power of your creativity and also the nature of your creativity, where it actually feeds you. You might be thinking, for example, let's bring back the painting situation again. You might be thinking that painting is your thing. And why aren't you doing more of it? Well, maybe it's because painting isn't your thing. Maybe that's where you started, but maybe sculpting is your thing, or maybe writing is your thing, or maybe it really is home decoration. It could be baking. It could be so many different things. But if you don't slow down long enough, my lovely Gemini with the air signs, if you don't slow down long enough, sometimes you don't really land in a way where you understand the multi-levels of what you're doing, and therefore you don't always see the value, either value or beauty of what it is you're doing. You can skim over it so quickly that you just don't give yourself credit for what's been going on. So you're being asked at this point in your life now to just take a moment, slow down, get in touch with your senses. Because when you get in touch with your physical senses, it brings you into present time. Let yourself land there and really seriously do this. It's saying take the time to really do this. And when you're in that state of being present, let yourself move into gratitude. Okay? Gratitude is such an expansive energy. So certainly be grateful for anything. Gratitude as an energy is very expansive and can be very opening and very healing. But if what you're looking at is a situation or a project or a situation, a project, a state of mind, an attitude, anything that you're working on improving or developing, making more concrete. Gratitude for that thing as it is, just gratitude for it, is going to help you move more energy, because what it's going to do is it's going to open it up. You're also being asked to look at where you need to create boundaries in your life as a response to being more, I was going to say in response to being more productive, but it's not that. What is it? Boundaries around the way you think and the way you talk about your abilities, and not just your abilities as a creative person, but certainly how you talk about your ability to create your life. Boundaries around how you speak to yourself in terms of your own value. Boundaries around ideas and thoughts that are negative, especially about you and who you are and your values, that create stress for you, right? So the feeling that I'm getting with this, my dears, is that when you go into that negative kind of rabbit hole where you are not just not supporting yourself and your own self-image, but where you are in some ways demeaning yourself, what that does is that leaves you, basically what you're doing is you're abandoning yourself. And this is very much about not abandoning yourself. This is very much about slowing down, taking your time, giving yourself permission and the right and the self-affirmation to realize that you have the resources that you need, that you may have grown up feeling that you didn't have them. You may at certain points now feel like you don't have the resources that you need, but what you're being told is you actually do. And the more grateful, there you go, take God with you. The more grateful that you are, and the more you allow yourself to slow down and really be present with whatever it is you are doing, thinking, creating, healing, the more you are going to be able to drop whatever that underlying stress is. Because Gemini, sometimes it feels to me as though as much as you like to be busy, as much as you can have many things going on all at once, sometimes it almost feels as though it's being a running away from being able to settle into feeling what you're really feeling. And what this is saying is, when you do that, you're going to find that you actually do have all the resources that you need, that you have a creative energy in you that is not just about creating things, but manifesting your life, and that you have the presence of God with you. And when you remember to apply that to whatever it is you're doing, and in whatever frame that means for you. So for you, if it's just a unified field of all presence, if it's angels, if it's spirit guides, if it's your higher conscious mind, you're being asked, remember to tune into that energy, because that's going to carry you through, okay? The ship's bell for me is spirit actually calling you, saying that it's time really to wake up. Those bells on the ships, I looked them up. They can be calling people to work times, to rest times. They can be warning signs. They can be, but basically what it is, they're about getting the attention of the crew of the ship. You're the crew. You're the captain and the crew. So this is really talking about you waking up in a way so that you can really navigate your own ship, whatever that is for you. Okay? I'm going to leave you with that, Gemini. Take care.